That's what I couldn't understand.
Okay.
I had 3 nurses, and there was no need in my being here for no reasons.
We were having a debate last
What?
night. We were trying to figure out some names.
Yeah. Oh, what was her name?
What was, no, I want to go back to family. Talk about family.
What?
I want to talk about family.
Oh, yeah. All right.
What was your mother's name?
My mother. My real mother.
Your real mother?
My Kate.
Yeah.
Katie.
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 Do you remember her maiden name?
I don't remember my first mother at
Yeah.
all.
You don't
All I
remember that, yeah.
remember, she was in bed.
But her name was Katie?
I never saw her walk.
Yeah? Her name was Katie?
I never saw her, although every summer we went on vacation for
Yeah.
the whole summer. My father would send us away.
Yeah.
And I do remember we used to go walking, the 3 of us, my sister and my brother,
Yeah.
and we'd walk. I can remember that well. But as far as remembering what she looks like, I don't know. But somehow or other, when we were moving, Leonard found a picture. And that's the first time I really saw it. My mother had red hair.
Red hair, really?
All the Albanian family, they all had red hair.
Yeah.
She had blue eyes. She was gorgeous.
Blue eyes? Really?
She
Yeah.
was gorgeous.
Red hair and blue eyes. Wow.
Yeah. I remember, all I can remember is I was the youngest.
Yeah.
And we'd hold hands.
Yeah.
Tom, my sister, myself, I was a baby. And then we'd hold hands, take a walk every day. That was amazing.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I can't say that I ever saw her walk, but I should not say that because we used to go walking every day
Yeah.
up in the summer place.
Yeah.
And there was no hope whatsoever. She got rotten time.
Yeah. Her name was Kate?
What?
Her name was Kate?
Yes, her name was
Yeah.
Kate.
Do you remember what her maiden name was?
No.
No, you don't know what her name is?
You mean the maiden name?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, where was she born? Do you know?
That's what I'm saying. I think,
There's been
What?
some change in
where she
the,
come from, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we never spoke any language but the American language.
She spoke English.
Oh.
Yeah, she learned English, yeah.
The only language, if we ever made a profession or a mistake,
Yeah.
oh, my father was gonna say,
Yeah.
you got a smacking of your life.
Did your father talk to your mother in Albanian?
What was that?
Did your father talk to your mother in Albanian?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Oh, she understood it.
Yeah?
Oh, she
Okay.
understood it.
She
Oh,
understood?
she understood English.
Yeah.
I mean, the only language we ever spoke was English.
Yeah.
The only thing is,
you do, you must.
the foreign people more or less used to go visiting one another.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And it was the funniest thing because now it's funny, but somebody had passed away, somebody very close to the family,
Yeah.
and actually we all had to go. And went in there, we went to visit because at that time it was always in the house.
Yeah.
And anyhow, when we went in, they started talking to me. I didn't know what they were saying.
Right.
We were only talking English language, but
Yeah.
Father said, you're here in America,
Yeah.
try to remember.
Yeah.
And he was professional himself. But that's about all I could remember. I know it was a very happy family.
Yeah.
Nobody was
Yeah.
allowed to cry.
Yeah.
If you want to cry, I give you a spanking.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, all his life, as far as I can recall, because my sister was much older than me,
Yeah.
and she understood more what he was trying to get at. That you're in America, remember you're an American and no other language. And he was professional.
Yeah.
If anybody could realize, or he was the head of a paint factory. When I say a paint factory, years ago they had these flower cans and everything came in tin cans.
Yeah. Right.
And he was the artist of the flowers.
He designed those,
He
he
was the
painted
artist
them, yeah.
of the flowers on every can.
Yeah.
And he was loved. We had more people come, important people,
Yeah,
just to meet him. They couldn't understand how a man, what do you do just working in a place like this? He said, we don't do it for profession. We just do it to show that we can do it, and we do it.
mm,
Oh, you couldn't get away with any, as far as rude English. I'll never forget. My sister said, "Hell, she, she got the beating of her life." She said, "Never. Oh, I never saw him that angry. Never.
yeah,
And I never saw him beat anybody, but she got it."
yeah.
And he says, I want all of you to remember this is America, and we have to be proud that we can enter, and proud that we can get the education here.
Now tell me, do you remember when your mother died?
So,
How old you were? You remember how old you were?
No, my
About?
mother-
You were young, you were very young.
Very young.
Yeah,
Very
but you
young.
don't remember how old you were?
Yeah.
No. Do you know where she was buried?
Right.
Do you know where your mother was buried? What cemetery?
Yes, we, all of our Linden Hill.
Liz, she was
That's
buried
our
in the hill too?
cemetery.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then your second mother, your stepmother was also buried there too?
Likewise.
Yeah, and her name was Teresa, right? What was her mother's name?
Right.
Teresa's mother, she had a, your
First
grand,
one?
no, your second mother.
I can't remember.
Remember she brought her mother with her, Teresa?
Yes.
She was an old lady, and you told me that she died when she was very old. And the newspaper reporters were there
What was
when
that?
she died? The newspaper reporters were there when she died?
You have no idea. My grandmother,
Yeah,
my second mother's mother, was
Yeah.
155 years old.
155 years old.
She went, the undertakers, which fortunately were right around the corner,
Yeah.
they just come in to take care of her.
Yeah,
And they just come in, and my father just came from someplace, wherever, and all of a sudden there were 15, 20 reporters on the stoop.
yeah,
And they insisted on coming up to see her.
uh-huh,
And my father said, how dare you? This is very private.
yeah,
He says, how dare you? And it wasn't unheard of. They said,
yeah,
he said, well, I'm sorry. He said, nobody, but absolutely nobody's allowed to go up. To begin with, the undertaker was just starting to work on it.
uh-huh,
And at that time, when somebody passed away, they had to be buried not only in the coffin, but underneath the coffin, which was full of ice.
ice. Oh,
Right,
oh,
to
so
keep
keep
the,
them cold, huh?
to keep the body
Yeah.
okay.
Uh-huh.
But then I'll never forget because
She died in the summertime, huh?
not only that, the things what I can't forget is that I always wanted to see them, so I had to be lifted up to look away now to see them.
Yeah,
And well, that was enough for me because all I had to do was just look or even climb up there by somebody holding me. I pass out.
yeah, yeah.
And but life is so different. People care for one
Yeah.
another. And but these reporters insisted on it. He said, "You better get out of here because I will not allow you to go up."
Yeah,
And finally, but we had people come from. Well, I never knew where. I was too young to begin with. To me, it was funny to see all these people.
yeah.
What for? You know,
So how old were you when she died?
how old was I?
When your grandmother died? Not your first mother, your second mother's mother.
My second mother's name is what her own name was.
Yeah,
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
but you remember when she died? What year, roughly?
Yes,
Yeah? About how old were you when she died, you know?
I was a child.
You were? Okay. This was after Dominic was born,
I,
huh? Yeah.
there was so much confusion. I
Yeah.
never forget because it was even on the news.
Was it really? Yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious, you hear
Wow,
about it.
155, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. Yeah. You remember where she was from? She was from Italy, right?
She came from Italy.
Do you know where in Italy?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was Italian, and you couldn't speak Italian to her, right? You didn't know Italian.
What are you talking about? I couldn't speak Italian. I didn't understand a word of Italian.
Yeah.
And secondly, my language is Albanian, and that's more quick, and I didn't know a word of that.
Yeah. You didn't know Albanian either?
No, because my father said you were in America,
Oh.
and I want perfect English.
Yeah, okay.
That's why he sent my brother to Colgate. Remember, Colgate is the most expensive place in the world.
Yeah.
But,
It's good school.
He knew a minister from New York. He went to, he came from Colgate.
That was Dr. Mangano, the minister?
No, of course,
Yeah?
yes, but
Yeah, Dr. Mangano.
it wasn't Dr. McGowan that did.
Oh, somebody else?
We got him to know him through the church,
Uh-huh.
but he made it big. Dr. McGowan helped a lot.
That was the first Italian Baptist church.
The first Italian Baptist church,
Yeah.
because prior to that, we used to go to New York. Dr. Elsing,
Dr. Elsing. Yeah.
Dr. Elsing was
Yeah.
the minister.
Yeah. That was a Baptist church in New York?
What?
Was it a Baptist church in New York?
What?
A Baptist church?
Yeah.
What church? It was a Baptist church.
No,
No?
but
And Dr. Elsing was in?
No. it was Protestant. I don't
Yeah.
know
Oh, okay.
what it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the Italian Baptist church was near where we lived in Brooklyn.
Yeah, right.
And
Near Consolation Street.
then Dr. Mugano, who's he was known all over the world.
Yeah.
And he just took a liking to my father. He tried to help him out in a way, and he did.
Uh-huh.
No matter what was important, he'd make sure that he got to see it or whatever it was. And then, then the minister that lived across the street from us, where we live now,
Oh, the church across the street?
right?
Yeah.
And when Dr. Morgana moved into that, after the minister passed away, he moved into that.
Oh, really? Was that a Baptist church?
Right, and this is funny, and I always like to make something that people would like,
Yeah.
especially men. And he liked to certain kind of cookies,
Uh-huh.
and I would make sure I don't make them. I was told what to do. I made them, but he'd stop in every day for his menu, for his.
What kind of cookies did you make?
Just ordinary cookies that
Yeah.
you have today.
You must have liked them.
Yes, he loved them.
Yeah.
I hate, but anyhow, as I say, he used to come in every day because I would tell him when to come home
Uh-huh.
or whenever you wish to come in,
Yeah.
and I'll have the cookies. Between him and the dentist and the doctor,
Yeah.
I had the three of them coming in every day for the same. But life was so different. People cared for one another.
You had doctors coming in to have cookies?
Right. And how?
Yeah. Really?
You have
yeah.
no idea.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Every day.
Yeah.
And of course, in my house, coffee. Coffee was the worst thing in the world.
Really? Yeah.
We weren't allowed to have it.
Yeah.
We had to have tea. On a Friday night, you had your cup of tea, and you had an apple. Then you may go to bed, because that was your physical.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, every time people hear this, they say, he not only wanted to learn more and more. That's why he said my brother's code name.
Yeah.
Pardon me. The thing is, the minister that we had, he got in touch with each other, and he's the one that gave me the introduction to go to Colgate.
Uh-huh.
Because at that time, even now, you have to know somebody to go there.
Uh-huh.
And he had a great deal. My father had so many books, just to use the proper English. And believe it or not, I don't care who knows about it. All those books and Bibles were taken and thrown out after something happened to me. And I'm so disappointed because, and you know what's happened? It's silly to say you know, of course you don't. I was here and I wanted to know what happened to all the books in the library that my father had built. And nobody seemed to know. I know well because I gave it to John that lives 2 doors away. Because I had him check the whole
Oh, yeah,
book,
you gave
bookcase.
to John? Yeah.
I took the whole bookcase.
Oh.
And it's, you know, they don't know the value of things. Of course, how could they know? They owned to begin with. I thought it was one hell of a word to even think of doing that.
Well, I'd certainly
keep
like
the
to see a
whole
family,
away.
I'd like to see a family Bible because it might have some, you know, record as to names and when people died and things like that. So I would love to see one of those old Bibles.
I'm telling you. And then, since I'm here, I wanted to know what happened to the Bible. Nobody seems to know. All of a sudden, my daughter-in-law told me she took them and threw them away. But okay, that's all in the past, so we'll forget about it. But I can't. And then I never knew that when the minister was absent, they would call David to give him sermon. I never knew.
Oh,
never.
David used to teach Sunday
Right,
school. I remember
right.
David teaching Sunday school, sure.
And I'm telling you, I never knew about it. I never knew about it. I learned it off.
You never
by-
knew that he gave sermons? Yeah.
Right. But the thing is, people come here and very kind to come to visit me.
Yeah.
But when they come here to tell me how much they missed David's sermon, I was shocked.
I've never heard David give a short sermon.
Actually, I'm happy about it, but I'd like to know. I'd like to know.
You should.
But
Yeah,
he's,
you should.
at that time, he was a
Yeah.
boy that,
It's too bad it wasn't recorded. It should have been taped.
not only that, but he was a boy that never let on anything important.
Yeah.
I used to hear things about,
Judy hit you, Section 309, Judy, Section 309.
I never knew that. Well, thank God. Now, was it you or somebody told me that they took all the pictures of Leonard's graduation? Also
David's pictures. Yeah.
Do you have it?
I've got some pictures.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of them. But
No,
some.
but anyhow, they took them because I had them
Yeah,
in the living room.
yeah.
But this is wonderful. This is like a dream when I see you people. It reminds me of old times.
Well, we were saying that's this time of the year particularly we remember.
What was that?
This time of the year particularly we remember all the good meals in your place and family getting together. And David with his train set, his big Lionel train set going under the tree and taking up the whole living room. I remember that. He was a spoiled kid. Anything he wanted, he got. I mean, he had this big Lionel set. It was just incredible.
I had 2 Lionel
Two Lionel sets.
Two.
Where are they?
I gave them away.
See, I still have my American Flyer set in the basement. It's all rusted.
Cheap piece of junk.
It always was. It never worked right.
Yeah. This is wonderful. I feel as though I'm living in the old times. It's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, well, what do you remember about old Christmases a long time ago?
No, the thing is, I don't care what anybody says. If you're out for the dollar, tell me about it. I'll give it to you, but get the hell out of here. I mean it. In plain English.
Yeah.
That's what they give at my home. For what? When he would sit right there. And we spoke about the country home. Now, I'm sure you people.
Oh, we loved Ronkonkoma. That was such a wonderful place. I really have great memories about
But to
that.
sell that,
I remember crabs running across the lawn that we caught. You open
Oh,
up the trunk
yeah.
and the crabs came out of the
I
trunk and they
remember
ran
that,
all
yeah,
across
crabs
the lawn.
on the lawn,
And you
yeah.
had this big pot of boiling water and you throw the crabs in. Oh, that was so much fun. It really was.
And how many people used to come out?
Oh yeah, that was a
And,
big gathering place.
We would tell them the last train out was 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we know. They made sure they didn't stay. They made sure they didn't leave.
And so they missed the last train, so they had to stay over.
So I think, oh, what could you do?
Yeah.
Remember we had a big porch?
Oh, I love that porch.
Okay, we had a big porch. We always had beds, the open up beds. And they said, we'll sleep on the floor. Yeah, at that time, I wouldn't dare say hell because I'd get a smack in the mouth. But no, but I really mean it. To come out with the idea that they were going to stay over. And listen to this. So, David had a few friends, especially the boy next door, and they still lived there.
Oh, what's that? Who's
Phil.
that? Phil. Phil Manor.
Yeah, Phil.
Yeah.
And he was out.
Marsha,
with his
please call
girlfriend.
7-8, Marsha,
And
7-8.
then, of course, they had.
Donna, please dial extension 309, Donna extension 309.
So they went ahead home. And the following day, remember, I don't know whether it's here in New York, but in Long Island at that time, you pay for the gas heater, or anything with gas.
Sure.
And if you don't remember when you got the last last whatever they did, you're out of luck. So anyhow, David had invited a few of his friends. In fact, definitely this fellow next door with his girlfriend, Phil next door, and Ralph.
Oh, Ralph Milo?
Yeah. Of course, they were always there.
Yeah,
So-
they were the mafia. They hung out together all the time.
So they were there Saturday, and they were coming back the following day. They didn't say, maybe come. Maybe, is it all right if we come? Nobody ever asked. They just came. So, when I was making a big dinner for dinner, for anybody.
You're always making big
Yeah, so-
meals, yeah?
That was, and I tried to put the gas on. No gas.
Huh.
Oh, God, I'm telling you, I had a pick.
Somebody forget to
Now,
pay for it?
ordinarily, you would say, all right, this happened, so it's something that happened that we couldn't look forward to. So we'll all have dinner at the restaurant.
Yeah.
What? Why? I said, listen, I have no control about the gas. I said, I didn't know it ran out. So the lady next door said, Martha, don't worry, I'll cook it for you.
Uh-huh.
That's not the idea. I never cook a one-course meal. And I said, I appreciate it very greatly. Well, anyhow, one of the girls, I'll never forget, one of Phil Manor's girls that he had there the day before, she said, what? She says, how come? Okay, take my order. My father happened to be visiting that weekend, unusual. And he was looking at me back and forth. And I said, okay, I'll take the list of everybody that what they want. Oh, my father was so angry. I could see it, but he would never open his mouth. He never interfered.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they went to pick it up or something like that, whatever it was, he said, is this what happens all the time? I said, oh yes, we like that. He says, Martha, I don't like it, and that's it. I want you to stop it because it's stupid. Oh, you. And not only that, they didn't come alone. They came with their families. Having at least 20 people for dinner was
20 people in that little house? My goodness.
be careful.
Yeah.
And Martha wants to go home to cook. It'd be a big meal, right?
What?
She wants to make a big meal for everybody, right?
Oh,
That's what you dream about.
But the thing is, when you sit back and recall this, it makes you feel badly. Because you tried, and for 1 minute, do I have any of these people bothering? Not that I want the company here by any means, because I still have the habit of ordering things. But pleasant memories.
Yeah, well, we were thinking about all the
But-
good Christmases we had together. I
Yeah, but I
particularly remember New Year's too, and going from house to house on Council Street and every place getting this huge meal. After having a big meal with your house, we'd go to Phil's house and then Ralph's house and then
Will the
all the
owner of
neighbors.
the Dodge, Great
Lots of
Dodge
food.
City Van, license number
That's still,
W515ND.
still a good memory for me.
Car. It's a gray
What did you
Dodge
like to
City
cook the
Van,
most, Mom?
number W515ND.
Leonard,
That was
how about making change in places with
Yeah.
your brother and you take some
Yeah,
pictures?
you're,
Yeah,
of
you're-
it?
you're,
Nice
you're
stuff.
beyond the camera now. Let's keep it running.
One
Wait a
thing
minute.
I don't like at
That's the
all,
Zoom over here. Oh,
it had no reason to sell
Okay,
my
you-
house.
you-
None.
yeah.
Ask the questions.
None.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Mom,
Yeah.
I want to know, what did you like cooking the most?
What did I like cooking?
Yeah, tell me what did you like cooking the most? What was your favorite dish to cook?
I don't remember.
Well, you cook chicken very well. I
How
remember
about
that.
lasagna?
What?
How about lasagna?
Oh, yeah.
Lasagna, you made excellent lasagna.
Oh, yeah.
I liked your cheesecake too.
Oh, yeah, she made the Italian.
Make cheesecake?
Right?
Used to make the Italian cheesecake.
No, I never
Pasta
made
bazool.
that. I never made
Pasta
pizza.
fazool she made.
Pasta bazool. that
Yeah,
was
Helen really likes that.
the best.
That was my father's.
It's the best pasta
That was
bazool.
my father's dish.
Really?
He
Yeah?
always loved it.
Oh,
Yeah.
nobody makes better pasta fazool. And eggplant parmesan.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, nobody made eggplant parmesan better than you did.
Oh, thank
Well,
you.
Helen comes close. Helen makes pretty good eggplant parmesan.
It was
She
good.
does. She makes
Yeah.
good one.
It
Yeah.
was good.
Well,
So
Oh, you
what?
made good roast pork too, and roast chicken, and
Oh, the pork. Oh, yeah, I remember the
Oh,
pork.
and the fresh
fried
pork.
flounder.
The fresh pork.
Yeah,
fried
flounder.
flounder. Yeah.
Fried shrimp.
Fried shrimp
Pot
and
roast.
fried
She made
flounder.
good pot roast.
Pot roast, yeah, it was
that was my main
baked
dish.
too long. It was about
I
4 days.
still-
Pot roast is the main
Baking.
dish. Yeah.
Yeah, pot was a little bit too hard.
Well, Pop liked pot roast.
Every Sunday they have pot roast. didn't
Right,
they?
Mom?
It was,
Don't you have pot
She
roast
doesn't
every
eat it.
Sunday?
What?
Did you have pot roast on Sundays?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That was a pot. I always liked pot roast because I could have it for Monday.
Yeah. Make sandwiches.
Like what, beside it, like what, please?
So David, when you visited on Consoleil Street, you went to Philly's house. Whose house did you start in? Ask Mom.
well, we usually went to Ralph's house
First?
first. Yeah. And then when we weren't welcome there any longer, then we went to Phil's.
You were always welcome in those places.
Right.
The people were so welcoming.
Yeah, and he always had coffee at Phil's
Yeah.
house. He always had espresso. His mother always had espresso made.
Particularly when Helen was pregnant, she really got fed. Let me tell you, that was.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Good taste. What is this? Fire alarm?
But I'll never forget. What was his name? Well, no, your other friend on the Consoleil.
My other friend on Consoleil Street was at Philly. There was Ralph.
Who?
Who else?
The one, the next block from us.
Next block.
Phil ran his best friend.
Phil Manner's best friend.
Ralph?
I don't know.
Well,
I
anyhow,
don't think Phil had a best friend.
well, anyhow, because remember you took out Phil and this other fella, especially Phil when we went fishing, and then.
Oh, like Zekowski?
What?
Zeke.
She has no idea what you just said.
You don't remember him. All right.
Well, it doesn't matter. What were you going to tell
Okay,
them? What were you
well,
going to say
whatever.
about him?
Well, anyhow, the thing is that I heard that Ralph's family, they had somebody passed away, and actually somebody called me and told me about it. I said, "Oh, that's so." I ran to Grand Street because that was the butcher open. And I got a couple of chickens because that's the fastest it's cooked. And I ran home and I made these great 2 big pans of chicken and potatoes and ran back and forth to get them there. Not only that I was glad to do it, I never even got a thank you. And I said, and then to get the pants back, I had to beg for it. I said, oh my God. I said, never knew that they were that ignorant, and I mean ignorant, that anybody should do anything like that. I'll never forget the way I ran out of my woods trying to hurry the thing up. Never to get a thank you. Okay, that's only one thing. And then the others that came, how many friends of yours came, and they made sure they looked at the clock so they would not get the train on time. And I'd always have to remind them, okay, it's only a 10-minute ride, but from the house to train. You remember all of that, David? Oh, boys.
Well, you were very good to all of us, Mom.
What?
You know, you were very good to all my friends.
It isn't that, David.
Yeah,
I would be good to anyone that was just respectful to me.
Right.
But now, not to even get a thank you or anything at all. Now, this is what I was coming to. And David is sitting right there,
No, David's sitting right next to you.
right there at the telephone. And I said that he could tell anything but Concierge Street. That was a definite promise, David.
Yeah, what do you
You
have to
know
say
it.
about that, David?
Oh no, I wouldn't care what happened because the one that boarded next door, Phil, he told me that also. He says, I was so surprised. He was happy to have it. Of course he is. But I'm telling you, if I'm brokenhearted.
Well, I want to know something about your first mother. Now,
She was Albanian.
Katie, did you say her name was?
Kate, yes.
Kate. Was she Albanian?
Yes,
Oh, she was Albanian.
yes.
And she spoke Albanian?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Now, what about Grandpa? Was
No.
he Italian or Albanian?
No, I don't know about him.
You don't know about him?
No, I don't.
Did he? What did he speak? Did he speak Italian?
I couldn't tell you because
Could he speak with his second wife?
I really don't know.
Could he speak to?
Close session, 345.
Teresa.
Silence going on again.
Teresa.
Teresa. Teresa was second wife, your second mother.
Right,
Now I know Grandma.
right.
I remember her
Oh,
because I spoke Italian to her and she spoke Italian to me.
I-
Now, so she was Italian. She was Italian,
I don't remember.
right? Was Grandpa Italian? Did he speak to
Mrs.
Teresa?
Isaac, 345,
I couldn't tell you
Mrs.
that.
Isaac,
I don't remember.
345.
I don't remember. I don't remember my grandfather at all.
How did they?
All
how
I
did,
know is that my grandfather, because I had told David a little while back, took a train to go to California to find out about the grape that they made wine. Where I got that from, I don't know, but it stayed in the back of my head. Then when I heard it, they were going to California.
Your grandfather or my grandfather?
Mrs.
Mine.
Isaac, would you please call
Your
345?
My grandfather.
I don't even know about your grandfather.
Right, well, he was the same
So,
way.
so this was Antonio's father, Antonio DeLessio.
Yes, I know.
Was my grandfather your father? And he had a father?
Yeah, of course he had,
And his father was here in the United States?
right?
And what was his name?
All I can remember is that my father was here in America, and oh, this was the funny part, and this I only heard lately. My father and 4 other boys, these are all from Albania, they were stowaways on a boat, That's how they got to
They were
America.
stowaways.
How old were they?
Right.
How old were
How
they?
old were they?
They were very young, very young. I don't think one of
Teenagers?
I imagine they were from
And-
5 to 7 years old.
What did they do when they got off the boat? Where did they got off the boat in New York?
This is what, somehow they got the information from somebody that when they got off the boat, just to walk to the corner and ask somebody, where is Garlic Street? Garlic Street is the lower part of Italian, as you know. That is, used to be.
What's the name of the street?
Garlic.
Garrick.
Garrick. Garrick.
Garrick. Oh, yeah, I know Garrick.
So,
Yeah.
anyhow, he and I think he said about 4 or 5 other boys, being that my father had a stepmother that hated him like a demon, that she gave him a
No, it's
beating.
okay, no, I'm good, I'm good.
Go ahead, Mom.
Go ahead, talk.
Continue,
Martha.
go ahead. Yeah.
Talk.
So, Garrett Street, yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
here, talk.
And-
Finish your thought.
Oh, so they lived on guard, and they were told that when they got off the boat to walk a couple of blocks, and just ask somebody who was calling. Actually, none of them knew English whatsoever. Now, these are not Italian, they're Albanian, and that's a different language entirely.
Entirely.
So, but how, somehow or other, they walked around until they found the place. When they got there, they went upstairs, and they say, everybody's aunt at that time. And they said, and we just got in, and we'd like to stay here. She says, listen, boys, I would love to have you, but I already have over 5 boys that stay here. I haven't got a sweat. But that's all right. We'll sleep on the floor.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Anything but at that age. But they all had stepmothers that used to beat them. That I can understand. Because I've heard that charming again. Because when I was going to have a stepmother, what is it?
Sorry,
Oh, when I was going to have a stepmother, they said, oh, you're going to get the beatings of your life. I said, I don't know. Well, you wouldn't dare. That was my father. He was so not only strict, but lovable. If he gave you a slap, he'd slap himself to try to show you what it meant. But we had a different living altogether. You
Okay,
had to
thank
have
you.
respect and love, whether it be for a cat or a dog or a human being.
Yeah, but
So,
he has sisters here though, how did they get over here?
What?
He had sisters here, and he had
Right.
sisters, your father had sisters. Remember you
How
told
about
me?
Aunt Mary?
Aunt Mary was one of
Well,
his
maybe
sisters?
those are the ones we call aunt. I don't remember her.
Oh, is it Aunt
Oh,
Mary?
yes.
Wasn't
Oh,
that
Aunt
his,
Mary.
wasn't
Aunt
that
Mary.
grandpa's
Oh.
sister? And she was mean, she'd go like this to you and get all black
She-
and blue when you were a little girl?
She was very mean. She was very
But
mean.
that was grandpa's
Well, that-
sister though, right?
The thing is, as a child growing up, you don't realize why they're so rotten to children. I was only 3 years old, sitting on a little step, and I fall asleep. Oh, when I get a banging and a beating. And my father, when my father would come home, he'd have us undressed to show if we had any marks of being beaten. Oh, thank God that's all over. But,
But you were only like 4 years old when that happened though, right?
what?
You were like 4 years old when she was
Oh.
being abusive to you, right?
Was there more than one sister?
Wasn't there another sister? When you came to Maspeth, who did
No.
you visit in Maspeth, dear Martha?
She was,
There was another aunt. in
yes,
Maspeth.
Grace.
And who
Grace?
was she related to,
She
Grace?
was his sister. See, in our family, everybody was an aunt and a sister. You know, it wasn't you were related or not.
Or they would just say that?
It's just respect. I know, because it was one. I had 2 sisters, 2 aunts here, and one they both lived on the same block, and the 2 of them had 2 houses. And the first one, that was Aunt Grace, she was such a blessing. and she would take care of us because she's my mother. She embellished my mother so much that she couldn't get over it. She would just look at us and she'd cry. But as I say, at the other end, she was one of these that whatever she had, it was hers. She would never even give you a glass of water when you at her house was only two houses after the first hand.
Yeah, Martha,
Right.
you had cousins.
Remember
Remember you had cousins? Every cousin, you had a cousin, and she had a daughter, and when the daughter had a baby and she wasn't married, and they said that the baby looked just like Jesus because it was born on Christmas.
Yeah.
Who was that cousin that you
I
had?
don't know.
What was her name? Rose. Her first name was Rose. Your cousin Rose.
Yeah, I know, Cousin Rose.
What was Rose's last name? That was your cousin.
Yeah, but that's my aunt's daughter.
Rose. Rose was your aunt's daughter?
Right.
Which
And
aunt?
Whose aunt was that? Aunt
Aunt-
Grace or Aunt Mary?
I couldn't tell you. Wait a minute. I had Aunt Grace that lived here in Rasper.
Daddy, may I please call
And
for
her
the lady?
daughters were Betty and Rose and Ann. That was the three daughters.
Right, and Rose used to come with her husband over your house all the time.
Right, right.
And they had a daughter. Remember the daughter?
No,
Yeah, they had a daughter. And she could never tell the truth, remember? You said she used to not always tell the truth.
I don't know.
Rose's daughter. What was Rose's husband's
Oh,
name?
yes, I remember Rose.
Myra 334.
All right, tell us about that.
All I can tell you about her is that
What was her last name?
I
Rose's
don't-
last name.
I don't know.
Was that Bensy?
Bensy, yeah. Rose Bensy, right?
Rose Bensy, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Rose
okay.
Bensy. Remember her?
Rose
That was
Very
your cousin.
good, very
Yeah.
good.
Right.
That's right.
David, you're doing very nice.
Rose Bensy,
Yeah,
right, Aunt Martha?
that's all together different from the
And
other.
that was
You're a
Aunt
rat.
Grace's daughter?
Right.
And Aunt Grace was what aunt, on your mother's side or your father's side?
Evidently, all of them from my father's side. I don't know Betty from my mother.
Yeah, they were all your
I
father's
don't
sisters.
even know what she looked like. I couldn't tell you. All I know is that they said she had red hair. All the Albanians
Myra's here.
in my
Line 1,
family
Myra, line 1, please.
happen to have light hair or blue eyes. But I couldn't tell you.
Well,
It's interesting.
I want to know who went to California to look at the wine.
My father and we'll call him an uncle, somebody else.
Grandpa and an
Yeah.
uncle?
No, my father was a younger man. Because my grandfather, he used to go to California a lot. And he's the one that spoke about
You used to go to California a lot?
right, because he spoke about the wine and the grape. And the thing is, they used to go there just to buy the grape,
No, from over to California.
right?
Was his name Gallo by any chance?
Not only that, but remember, you don't go by plane, you go by train.
Train, yeah, I know.
Train.
I mean, I had Indians then. I had to
Well,
deal with along the way.
I'll never forget when they had asked my father, because my father didn't care for any kind of drink, although he's the one that made the wine. But I'm telling you, every time you think of it, I think the whole world used to come in just for a glass of wine. But this is what happened one time. We had a new tenant for the top floor, and I think they may have been Italian, something or other, but they used to call them the high Italians, excuse me.
The high Italian?
Yeah, they're so-called high Italians because
No, it seems like they were
They-
drinking a lot.
they were
They were very high.
They
They
were
were
literally
more
high.
educated.
You want tissue now?
You mean
I'd rather be a low Italian anytime.
they're educated Italians? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean by high Italians?
Well,
Yeah, I think so.
High attainers, does that mean that they were
Down, down,
educated?
zero, break it down, zero,
The
please.
high achievers are the educated ones,
The educated ones.
okay? And the
Okay.
other ones, nobody went to.
Yeah, went to kindergarten.
In Albania where they lived. I don't think anybody ever went to school. I wouldn't know, but that's why my father was so enthused in education. I have never worried where did he get this from. But I'm telling you, when my father accidentally joined the church in New York,
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened because he was very young. And through him, that my brother went to Colgate.
Colgate, right?
Because they knew him. Otherwise, you have to know somebody to get there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the people that used to come just to pay respects and say hello to the city home. Of course, we stood around, we didn't know who they were, and but we always had a house full, and people believed me used to come and go.
Yeah, you sit over here now.
No, I don't want to sit. No, I don't want to sit.
I don't want to sit
I think
anymore.
you've seen
It's not
enough
good
of me
for-
anyway.
I'm
I'm
gonna
No,
gonna
it's
sit
not
over
good
here.
for my back to sit so much. So
I
I'm
want
just,
to sit.
I'm just gonna switch over here. I'm gonna stand. You sit over there.
Oh,
I'm gonna stand.
oh,
You don't
I'm
have to
sorry.
really,
Everybody's getting hurt.
I can't sit much. Anyway.
We should have hired a hall.
You never lose your sense of humor, Martha. You know that? You always have a good
Right.
a sense of humor, right?
But this is funny. My father had, no matter who came, especially a visitor from the top floor, and he would tell them, there's a barrel of wine down the cellar in case you ever want any. You're welcome. So one day or one night, whatever, one of us was flying down the cellar. There's somebody fast asleep in the cellar steps. He was so drunk. But I tell you, there was one thing in my family, you are not allowed to cry.
Not allowed to cry, huh?
You
How come? Everybody's got to cry a little bit.
No,
How
no,
come
no.
not allowed to cry?
You want to cry, I'll give you a beating. It's just running
You got a
down.
beating if you cry?
Oh, yeah. No, if you cry, if you want to cry, I'll give you the beating, no, you can cry.
Oh,
You have no
okay.
other excuse,
He wanted you to laugh and be happy, all the children. That's what it was.
right? Being that he was so lonesome when my mother passed away, you have no idea.
Marie Gentile, please call 375, Marie Gentile, 375.
Yeah.
How did he get his second wife?
Dr. Muller, that extension 309.
How did he get his
Dr.
second
Muller,
wife?
Extension 309.
I didn't get that.
He said, how did he get his second wife?
How did he meet his second wife?
Yeah.
The mail order bride. Tell her about that.
You buy them.
You buy them?
Yes, there's men walking up and down the street. And if you need a wife or something like that, you buy. They know people, and that's it. You buy them.
You buy a wife.
You buy a wife.
And he got two women in the same deal. He got a wife and the
Grandma.
wife's mother, huh?
Right.
He got two women, huh?
My mother's mother
Yeah.
came here years after they were married.
Oh, they came later, huh?
And they were standing at the shipyard, waiting for the boat to come in. And anyhow, when my grandmother appeared, my mother says, I don't see her. She must have missed the ship. I don't see her. My father pointed her out. There's your mother over there.
Huh?
He couldn't believe it. And that's how they got to know each other.
So your stepmother couldn't recognize her own mother, huh?
No.
Huh.
Oh, she was so confused.
Yeah.
I could have. At that time, remember, it's not like today. At that time, they step out off the ship like crazy.
You don't remember her maiden name, huh?
I don't remember
Yeah.
what.
Her maiden name?
No,
Or your grandmother's, or your step-grandmother's name?
no.
No? Was she Perillo?
All I
Remember
It
Perillo?
was Perillo.
I-
It's Teresa Perillo.
The only way that I
You never
understood.
found a social security card or a marriage certificate or anything in this house or?
What?
Well, whatever I had, I should have left.
Well, how I happened to know that she had a nephew that lived right around the corner from us, and he was a baker, and somehow or other, my mother understood that he had a baker shop or something, and that's where she used to buy bread, and that's how I got
And
to
you know what too? She
What
had a nephew that worked in the bakery because he used to bring grandma a pizza dough and she used to make pizza in the oven.
Right,
Remember she had a nephew that worked in the bakery or had a
right.
bakery.
He lived right around the
I
corner.
remember that.
Oh,
Yeah, what
yes.
was his name?
Oh, yes.
What was his name?
What was his name?
No,
Are you kidding?
no,
How would I remember?
Yeah.
I remember him coming up.
no.
I think his name was Guy. I don't know.
Guy?
I don't
No.
know.
Who was the guy who brought the fish?
He used to bring
Oh,
me.
it's Charlie.
Charlie was the fish man?
Charlie Dragna.
Yeah. What's the last name?
Charlie Dragna?
And you know how old I am.
Yes.
Yeah, 98. We know.
But
Yeah.
the memory is not there.
Yes,
You got amazing memory.
No, I never had.
word
if I-
for word in detail.
If
to
I had
detail.
to repeat this,
You could.
I would remember now because I'm talking about now. But there's so much that I try so hard to remember. I'll never forget